People who steal other people's lunches or other food at work, what goes through your head? Had an old roommate who thought he was slowly smoking my weed that was sitting on the counter a little at a time. Without asking. Never asked me to join. It was a container of my cat's catnip. Someone once stole my lunch. The next day I put a couple of Carolina Reapers in it. Found out who stole it pretty quick. He tried to get me fired and failed. Disclaimer. I was a teenager back then. At the risk of being downvoted to hell, the only food I've ever stolen at work was a piece of bread from a loaf. Like 2 times when I was 16/17. I'd forgotten my own lunch, so I took a slice of bread. I felt bad about it though, and as an adult I have my own lunch. Since then I've never done it again, and we have a cafeteria at work if I leave my lunch at home. Never taken someone's meal though and eaten it. My logic was one of a coward's. If I asked for a slice of bread, I'm sure they would have said go ahead. But I didn't want to ask, so I just assumed. I wouldn't have opened an unopened package or taken the last slice. Which in my books made it better. It obviously doesn't. At my old job, one of the grocery guys accidentally stole the manager's lunch. They were both Sri Lankan and ate a lot of Sri Lankan food at home. And his wife had packed it for him that day, so he didn't know what exactly he had. Guess they had similar containers, because when the manager went on his break the other guy was in the lunchroom eating his curry that he had been looking forward to all day. Poor Awantha. I need to get this one off my chest. About 10 years ago, I was 22 and working busy season in tax. It was like 10 p.m. and I was one of the only people left in the office. I had also eaten my expensed busy season dinner like 5 hours ago. I couldn't leave until I finished my work. And I was starving. I couldn't find anything else to eat in the office. Delivery apps weren't a thing. And the weather was really bad out. I found a $1 frozen meal in the freezer and ate it. I definitely should have replaced it later. But I honestly can't remember if I did or not. Someone could have been counting on that meal for nights like mine. And I still feel guilty. If you're somehow reading this, food victim, I'm sorry. It kept happening to my boss, so one day he put a big note, "Not yours, do not eat." He made a stew and used dog food for the meat and announced that at the end of the day. 78 years ago I had to run an investigation into food being stolen from the staff kitchen. Lots of complaints. Not full lunch but bits of lunch. Like one half sandwich out of a lunchbox, but everything else still there, or some of the chicken wings. Not all of them. People left boxes of cereal in the kitchen and some of that was being used, but just a bit, etc. After adding up what was missing each day, it was all low-level stuff. Barely a full meal that someone could live off for the day. Boss wanted a hidden camera. Caught the guy doing it. He was the apprentice who earned £3.30 an hour. Had to pay his own travel costs to work. Was studying and also trying to pay rent as didn't live at home. He was not surviving and I had to do a disciplinary hearing with him. Worst thing ever. Honestly. I took no formal action. And got the CEO to pay him the minimum wage for over 25s instead of the under 19s apprentice wage. It was £7.20 at the time. They agreed to always pay minimum wage after that for all apprentices. Which was good, but hired less apprentices the following year. Not so good. Some people steal food because it's accessible and they have not other options. I work with a guy that will eat anything that is in the fridge. I have seen him just squirt condiments into his mouth. He keeps a case of ramen in his locker and eats it dry. I pulled him aside one day and asked him if he was eating at home or needed help with food security resources. Nope. He said he was fine, and even after being confronted about it, he continues to eat anything he comes across in the fridge. I would say that is a one or more of the following: eating disorder, impulse control, lack of empathy, depression or other mental health issue. I stole someone's Babybel cheese once at a call center. She was an awful person, always trying to get promoted by throwing everyone else under the bus. She would pick random new people and bully them into quitting. One day, I saw her put a little bag of Babybel cheese in the fridge. She left the break room and I stole it. My roommate and I were eating them that night and decided to keep all the red wax wrappers. Over the next few months, I randomly left the wrappers on her desk. It really enraged her. I don't steal lunches but have known to take a piece of candy from the receptionist's desk that's supposed to only be for visitors. I get such a rush from my crimes. I actually don't want to read this thread, because any justification is just gonna piss me off. There is no excuse for that kind of behavior. I used to work in a casino and one day I left my curry and chips wrapped in a bag in the staff room until my break. On said break, I found it open on the worktop, half eaten with a fork lying in it. I was fuming. Does the thief just think they'll take their chances that the person it belongs to might just walk in whilst they're filling their face with it? There's someone at my work who does it and I think she has a problem with impulsive eating. She's always in there eating. Doesn't matter if it's her lunch break or not. And she mentioned that she's addicted to certain types of food. IDK. They probably don't think besides simple thoughts in their thick idiot skull besides nom nom nom. Like a damn Pac-Man in a 16 kilobits Atari cartridge. When I was like 14 I drank some of someone's chocolate milk from the fridge at work because I thought it was communal food. IDK I was dumb and there was some food that was communal in there so I thought that was too. Everyone here is just commenting how their lunch has been stolen. We want to hear from the thieves people. It's an anonymous site. Give us the stories. I actually had a positive experience with this once. A person accidentally ate my lunch and left me a note with $20 to buy myself something else. His wife had also packed chili in a similar container. As for most people, my guess is selfishness. Some people just don't care how their actions impact others. Someone always steals my creamer so I label it breast milk and no one touches it. How about the coworkers who mooch off you? That looks good, can I have some? This happened to me a lot at one job where I would eat banquet TV dinners for lunch. They used to be $1. Seriously, if I can only afford a $1 lunch they need to let me eat my mush in peace. I ate somebody's strawberry-flavored yogurt from the office fridge. It had been expired by a few months. So I thought, why not? I see this day in and day out. In the same place it never moves. Another guy witnessed me eating it and had the audacity to tell the owner. I received an earful about stealing other people's food. Oh, it's expired? Didn't matter.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.